Sorry, guys. Microphone was off. A warm welcome. Good evening. Yeah, it's the day of India losing 1-2 to Afghanistan in the FIFA World Cup 2026, as well as the AFC Asian Cup 2027 joint qualifiers. At least for me. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but I feel quite dejected by this result, by this outcome. It was coming, this kind of a game was coming, and that scares me, that we are in a situation which to me would have been avoidable. I think that's the main point to me, that this kind of a situation could have been avoided, and we're there. RCB run machine writes, even after 5 years of coaching, if having good chemistry, then whose problem do you think it is? Well, to me it's very, very clear. It's the coach, and it's something where I say is, why couldn't he change it? Why couldn't he do whatever was needed to make things better? And that's why I've kept this tagline, I've kept this headline, which you can see over here: when will Indian football wake up to reality? Because according to me, we've decided not to go with reality, but rather live a little bit in a dream world, in fake bubbles. I was critical last year or the year before, even when we beat Hong Kong 4-0 and qualified for the 23. When we won the South Cup, was in Bangalore, watched the two games, the semis and the final. And it's brutal. This reality is brutal because because a lot of things have happened in the last year. And Bobby, and I'm done with Indian football. Well, Bobby, I think a lot of people are feeling like you tonight, that I would always Indian football, never stop that. At least keep your connection to the game, because I think that's very, very important. And as you say, I'll switch to you from football. Don't do that. You can follow both. And to me, very clearly, it was not just the coach. I think the chance to go, the coach should have been gone by now. Let's be clear about that. But to me, it's also that we have to get into the real world, realize how good are our players or how not good are our players, and the federation needs to wake up. But the federation has its own set of problems for the last 1.5 years, and what do you think about Purval Chempa's shout for the national team? To me, it doesn't matter who, to be very honest. To me, it is a question of, do we have the players who can make a real difference? Who can be that difference player? Because the question of player 1, 2, 3, I'm still not clear where do we go from here, because you have to have a cleanup, right? That in the federation, in the whole system, and the reality check of what we need to do. And Akash is having a smile. You want to switch to open football. Yeah, that we've got that. Vignesh is saying over. This is unbearable. Get out, Mr. Steamach. Enough fake years as India's head coach. Zero progress. We are getting back. We are going back with hashtags Indian football, Blue Tigers, FIFA. Well, yeah, I agree. I mean, it's these are realities which if I like it or not, we all have to accept. And to me is where do we go from here? What changes do we bring? It's not just about, as I always say, criticizing the system and doing this. And Bobby says before Asian Cup for football, don't know what happened after that. I guess I think a lot of people got carried away with the victories we've had, be it in the Tri Nation, be it in the Interconti, be it in the SAF, because I think we were we were not as good as I think many people see us. And it's not about individuals. I think Samuel is you should have used Nanda instead of Manveer. I don't think that would have been a difference. Again, it's not about an individual player or an individual, because all our players, in my opinion, are of a similar level. You can take today A, tomorrow B, and the next day C. It doesn't make a difference. Singh was playing or was amongst the best players in the ISL just before this international break. He was really, really playing well. And now it looks like he doesn't know how to play football. That is what my yeah, exactly. I mean, as we run machine. After looking at how Indonesia have been playing, it should be a lesson to us that how a right coach can help him. Exactly, that's the point. And to me, it's very, very clear that the coach has a certain influence and either makes players better. The question is, to me, is when will things change for the good? And that's something. It's good. It's good quality. Deepak says, I have a piece of criticism for you guys. Please do come ahead. Roshan, his coaching record surely is better, even though he's been coaching more club sides than national teams. Ashupanji says, unfortunately, I saw it coming sort of, but I thought still we at least can get a draw. And I had a feeling in that second half after, the first 5-10 minutes where we were playing a little bit is like, oh, and I said a few times, lucky that Afghanistan isn't able to finish off and score. And that it changed. And it's very difficult to see how we improve, how we get better. And again, एक और says भाई कितने साल से हम वहीं पे से अब बस वोट करेंगे. It is saying that he wants us to bring OCIs. I don't see that happening. And that's that's the reality. And Bobby with the stats in last 10 games, 1-1, drew 1, 8 defeats. That's hard, right? Today was the first goal since Manveer's goal against Kuwait away. That was the only win. And that's something. Let's see where it goes. And Deepak Das says, I think football academies are discussed enough on the streams. Unless we start talking about the academies, they won't. The quality would either. It's not a question of what we discuss here online. Seriously, it doesn't. Does it really matter that what we are discussing now, will it change Indian football for good? Simple question. Will people listen? No. It doesn't matter. It's to me is very, very clear that we are not doing what is needed. And dark night. Watching Indian football is depressing. Yeah, sadly, at the moment it is. I mean, um, it's a difficult one because it is. Um, if the Asian Cup was banned, and if we thought the Asian Cup was a low, because we thought we were better, and I've always said that I don't think in that group we can get anything. 0.0 goals. I was always hoping for one goal. That was my hope. Sadly, it was a hope and it didn't get fulfilled. Of things. That is where we stand. With all the hype last year, all that was discussed last year. I said it after. Go and watch the old lives that we did, Rahul and I did last year. I was sitting in Bangalore at my cousin's place, and doing those lives. And I said, I'm not convinced because I thought Kuwait, Lebanon, that is the problem that I felt was there. And this is the end result. As Gurpreet lost his immunity to the game, I think Gurpreet doesn't have immunity. I think he's been switching it with Amrinder. Amrinder did play in the World Cup qualifiers in November. It's been an honor. The question is, will the younger ones, will Vishal Khet or will Purba Chempa once in a while get a chance? So therefore, and I see. Sorry, Hiren is here.
Hello, sir.
Hiren, do you see me? Good evening,
Yes,
Hiren.
yes. Good evening, sir.
So, how do you see things? How do you, how do we take this forward?
I think forward तो simple सा है. Starting with match checking and AFFB most probably fifth को hearing है Supreme Court की. So there will be maybe chances are higher कि new election will be called up. So everyone should go. I think that's where we need to. I think we need to start with the press. In terms of the coach, in terms of the AFF administration, in terms of the some of the players. I think lots of things needs to be changed. But I think and ये ऐसा नहीं कि हम पहली बार बोल रहे. I think in last 1.5 year we said again and again, and every time we have been talking about this. We need to change a lot of things, but unfortunately there is nothing happening. So I don't have a high expectation that there will be a lot of changes. I think in maybe 1 or 2 weeks, fans also will be forgotten all of this thing, and again everything will be maybe 1 or 2 change. I don't know if they have that guts to make those changes, but I think ज़्यादा मैं नहीं देख रहा, to be honest. I think there will be not a lot of, you can say, radical changes. I think it will be 1 or 2 maybe changes, and they will try to put it out that we take the tough decision, which will eventually not help anything. As you know, there is a lot of things that needs to be changed. So अगर वो नहीं होता तो फिर तो कोई इतना ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट भी नहीं पड़ने वाला. So वही वाला सिनेरियो है. अभी मैं देख रहा था वियतनाम कोच has been sacked after Indonesia loss, and पहले भी हमने अभी जब वॉच ऑन कर रहे थे तब भी हम बात कर रहे थे कि every country in AFCON and Asian Cup, चाहे वो सक्सेसफुल हुए हो या नहीं सक्सेसफुल हुए हो, they have taken a decision after that tournament कि भाई हमारी टीम को आगे अब कैसे प्रोग्रेस कराना है. According to they have taken a decision. Some of them have fired the coaches, some of them appointed a new coaches, and everything has been changed. Some of them have moved on to the former players. So everywhere there will be a changes, but unfortunately India is the only country जिन्होंने एक रिव्यू मीटिंग तो बोला ही एशियन कप की, लेकिन उसमें उसके बारे में बात नहीं की, नेक्स्ट चैलेंज के बारे में बात की. अब उसमें भी वो जब फेल हो गए, तो नाउ लेट्स सी दिस सो कॉल्ड यू कैन से कि सेवियर्स ऑफ इंडियन फुटबॉल हैव ए गट्स टू, यू कैन से कि से द ट्रूथ. एंड आई थिंक एक चीज इससे सबसे बड़ा जो मैं पॉजिटिव इससे देखता हूँ, अगर फैंस इसको देख पाए तो मोस्ट ऑफ द फैंस कि ये सारे सिनेरियो होने के बावजूद आई थिंक फैंस को अब आइडेंटिफाई करना चाहिए कि वो आर दी ट्रू के who are the people ki jo truly cares about Indian football and are real, you can say ki well-wisher of Indian football. I think across this you can say ki every stakeholder of AFF, sorry Indian football, AFF में कौन ऐसे बंदे हैं वो आपको पता चल जाएगा कि जो रियल में इंडियन फुटबॉल के बारे में केयर करते हैं. प्लेयर्स में पता चल जाएगा, फॉर्मर प्लेयर्स में पता चल जाएगा, जर्नलिज्म में पता चल जाएगा, हम जैसे यूट्यूब क्रिएटर में पता चल जाएगा, कोच में पता चल जाएगा. एवरीवन whoever talks about Indian football, the one would now right now speak the truth, will genuinely thinks about Indian football, and जो यहाँ पे डिप्लोमेटिक आंसर देंगे, इधर उधर की बातें करेंगे, दे आर दी पर्सनल गेन, या फिर उनका बिहाइंड द सीन कुछ ऐसा चीज है कि जिसके लिए वो यहाँ पे फैंस को जो रियल ट्रूथ है, जो हम 1.5 साल से बोल रहे हैं, वो यहाँ पे वो बोलेंगे नहीं. सो आई थिंक फैंस को ये यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा अलर्ट रहना चाहिए और देखना चाहिए कि भाई कौन कौन से ऐसे बंदे हैं, जो मैंने सारे सेक्टर बोले, एएफएफ, फॉर्मर प्लेयर्स, करंट प्लेयर्स, आईएसएल कोचेस, आपके जर्नलिस्ट, आपके यूट्यूबर्स, हुएवर, जो भी कोई ओपिनियन देता है इंडियन फुटबॉल में, अगर इस टाइम पे वो ट्रूथ नहीं बोल सकता, तो आप मान लीजिए कि उससे दोगला इंसान कोई नहीं है.
I think that's the biggest challenge, na? That's I think the biggest challenge that we have. That anybody who denies after watching what happened today, um, that this match happened in the way it happened, does not live in reality. That's my biggest concern, because this game showed to us all of our weaknesses, all of our
हाँ.
problems, our issues, are where do we not stand. That is my biggest concern after today's match. What I say is, like, we we I mean, I've been saying this for a while, that there are too many issues which need to be solved. It started, 2 years ago, a little later than this, when the whole AFF was destabilized. And the thing is, and I always said to the old dispensation also, that the coach issue is an issue, right? And we've never been able to solve it, and that to
हाँ.
me is something that worries me, because we have never been able to get a solution. And that's the difficulty I see with everything that has happened today, and in the last few days, looking at Indian football and all its problems, all its weaknesses, all its issues over there, that we are unable to find the right answers. And sorry, I wanted to take a few of your comments, and sorry if Hiren and I was talking one of this, of course, Indian Dreams World Cup, or now stop, please stop these lives. Other nations with slight downfall sack coaches, and India with big downfall give extension, or now get a life, man. Indian football doesn't deserve so much talk. Thanks a lot
इसमें
on that one. But actually, be it for Hiren, be it for me, be it for the others who do it, we all do it for the love of football. Even you guys are listening because you love Indian football. None of you are here because you don't care. We all, so
देखो
that's the
भाई,
thing.
सिंपल सी बात है, अरुणा सर और हम जो कर रहे हैं लाइव 1.5 साल से, हमने इसमें से एक पेनी भी नहीं कमाया है भाई, उस सेंस में जितना हमारा इसमें टाइम गया है या फिर हो गया है, वो पैशन के चलते हमने किया है. सो इसीलिए हम ट्रूथ भी क्यों बोल पाते हैं, क्योंकि हमारा कोई ऐसा पर्सनल गेन नहीं है कि हमें सर को कि ये बन जाना है, मेरे को यहाँ पे ये पोजीशन ले लेना है, मेरे को एक ये मिल जाने वाला है. इसीलिए तो ट्रूथ बोल पाते हैं. हमने जब आईएसएल की गलती है तो उसके बारे में बोला है, उनके कोचेस की गलती है तो उनके बारे में बोला है, एफएसडीएल की गलती के बारे में बोला है, कोच की गलती के बारे में बोला है, प्लेयरों की गलती के बारे में बोला है, एएफएफ की गलती के बारे में. हमें किसी से यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं है कि सबके वेलविशर बन के जो क्या बोलते हैं कि अच्छी अच्छी बातें हैं वही बोल. हमने तो जो ट्रूथ है और हमको जो बातें पता है बिहाइंड जैसे, उसके अकॉर्डिंग हमने अपना ओपिनियन दिया है. हमने कभी भी वो करने की कोशिश नहीं की कि आपको हमसे इससे कुछ मिल जाने वाला है. नहीं तो भाई, ये हम इतना हमारा कहीं टाइम वेस्ट करने के लिए रेडी नहीं है. वो हम भी आपकी तरह फैन है, तो एक ऑनेस्ट हमारा पैशन है एंड उसी को वो कर रहे हैं and उसी के रिगार्डिंग बोल रहे हैं. तो हमें वो यहाँ पे क्या बोलते हैं कि वो दो तरह की बातें करने की नहीं आती. और उन्होंने जो बोला ना कि भाई बाकी कंट्रीज का कोच चेक कर रहा है, आई थिंक इंडोनेशिया वर्सेस वियतनाम का मैच भी हमारे साथ ही चल रहा था, तो उसके तुरंत बाद उन्होंने डिसीजन ले लिया. और हमारा तो यहाँ पे कुछ अता पता भी नहीं है. दैट शोज कि भाई कितना उनका जो यहाँ पे फेडरेशन है, दे आर रिस्पॉन्सिव. हमारा तो अभी आई डोंट थिंक सो कि वैसे तो सेक होगा ही नहीं. आई थिंक वही सबसे बड़ा तो वो है. आपको लगता है सर होगा क्या से?
See, the point is, It happened at the forget this Asian Cup. Remember, India beat Thailand 4-1 in 2019, and Thailand sacked the coach after the India game. First match.
Hmm.
Thailand qualified for the knockouts. India went home. Ivory Coast in January
Hmm.
fired their coach and went on to win the tournament. So uh, for me, is decisions are needed, and this shows you leadership or the lack of leadership. And this is a clear cut proof to me that whatever has been said, we've had a lack of leadership, and we have a
Hmm.
lack of leadership. And the people who have been put into positions, even legends of Indian football, have to question themselves and why are they there. If I want to be there because I used to be a great player, great coach, whatever, it's not good enough. You prove to me that you belong to these positions. That's the main thing, right? So therefore, let me take a few of the comments. Vasant says, Ego Steamer said, post-match president, India to still qualify for round three. In what way? Well, we're still not out of it, right? We've got 4 points. Afghanistan now have 4 points, and Kuwait have three. Sorry. So therefore, everything to play for us. For us, it becomes more difficult, but anything is possible. You know, that's the scary part in all of this, right? Rohit More wants a Twitter space. Maybe later, Rohit. I don't know. You know, that's another thing. Kumar says clubs should wake up from the salaries to Indian players. After seeing these Indian players, the clubs should start their own academy, total invest in grassroots and youth development. Kumar, not going to happen. I mean, in the real world, will not never happen, because the clubs think about the now and not don't think what will happen in 10, 15 years. If you're thinking about the now, you'll try, even if the players are not good enough, you'll try and sign them to try and get it. It's not going to happen. Um, LM7 says, Sir, seems like PIOCI is our only option. That's never going to happen. Let's see. At the moment, it doesn't look like. So, therefore, if something can happen or cannot happen, RCB run machine, after looking at performance like these, I don't think City Football Group will be interested in investing anymore in Indian football. They are doing it, so, therefore, and they already have done. So, let's see what they do, what they don't do. Uh, um, only OCI our solution. Stop expecting anything from these boys like Indonesia, Singapore. Well, we can go mention a lot of more players, and there are no positive. Only positive thing will happen after 10 OCI will come and join. Our players, our users always get thrashed by Uzbekistan, Australia, Iranian clubs. Yeah, that's also reality. Um, and Kumar is asking, what are AFF channels or sources saying after this match? There's no human beings in AFF. No comments. Ego much the same. No, not a single statement. I'm Vijan Kalyan Chobe from now. No, nothing per se. So we're still waiting to hear if anything comes out from the federation or from the federation president. So far as I've seen, what is it? Dipan Singh, I don't understand why people are blaming ISL if a national coach is such wonderful. Well, that's another point, right? The ISL, it's not only the ISL. I think the whole system has to be questioned, because the end product are these players. Um, and I've been saying this for a while, that my feeling is that our players are not good enough in regard to the basics. And we see that even if a B or a C Afghanistan, but these players have learned their football in Europe, in North America, or in Australia, that their football basics are better. So everyone involved in grassroots and youth football needs to ask himself, herself, what am I teaching the kids? Am I working on the basics? Is the local football, whatever, if it's a state FA or a district FA or a city FA, are the right things being done to grow the game in regard to competitions? Are these kids playing enough? Are they enough on the ball? With all these basic problems. And Ego Steamer says, yeah, Vietnam sacked their coach today immediately after 3-0 loss to Indonesia. Well, Vietnam has been on a spiral, right? So that's a thing that they've had, and these are realities. What ISL teams achieve with foreigners and Indian players, if we get Zidane, these guys will not get results. Again, good side, go check the results of AFC, even AFC Cup, Asian Champions League, Asian Cup, Champions League, and AFC Cup. Well, yeah, but those are, I think the last season has been a reality check for where we stand with our Indian football. I think that's that'll be interesting to see. check all in the football page. People were shouting "Gali Gali mein chor hai, AFF chor hai," and see much out in front of
नहीं
coach and
नहीं
team
टीम
was.
सर,
Ah,
सर टीम जब लीव किया तब भी वो वीडियो आ रहे हैं, एवरीवन फैंसी चैंटिंग टीम
mm,
मैच आउट.
yeah, yeah, and again, I think to me the federation has no other option. If the federation keeps him for June, it shows that the federation is weak. You know, so this to me
Exactly.
is very clear where they need to go. And Mayank wants next AFF election. Let's see what happens. Sir seems, yeah, not gonna happen. Akshata is saying, Akshata, if you want to join, I can send the link. Look where this love has got us. And laugh smiley behind that. Akshata, yes. And then in addition, gloominess, sadness, hopelessness. Yes, these are the realities of where we stand at the moment, right? So therefore, uh, uh, um, so this is Indian dreams, of course. Yeah, Hiren, translate. My Hindi is not that
कितना
good.
कितना कष्ट हो रहा है, सोचो अरुणवा सर, इतना गंदा मैच देख के भी यहाँ बैठे हैं, हम भी पैसे नहीं मिलेंगे, दुख अंदर से हो रहा है भाई, मुझे नहीं जीना है भाई. अच्छा.
See, Gina, though, it's a little too far. It's,
हाँ.
at the end of the day, it's still a game of football. And again, I think we're all disgusted. For me, interacting with you guys is and with Hiren also here. Um, this is more cathartic for me because otherwise I would be just angry and most probably talking to people on the phone. And again, I'm getting tons of WhatsApps, and everyone is what's happened. And again, this is something which is very difficult. Lucky Red says it seems like players are not playing for the badge. Coach doesn't know what his tactics are. I think it's a combination of both. I think that players are no longer playing for the coach. The players can't be that bad. Na Hiren, क्या सोच रहे हो?
यस. यस, मेरा मेरा भी आई थिंक जब एशियन कप में ही वो सर क्लियरली विजिबल था. एंड एशियन कप के बाद मेरे को वही सबसे बड़ा जो डर था ना, वो वही हुआ कि अगर प्लेयर का वो कोच के लिए नहीं खेल रहे ना, तो चाहे सामने कैसा भी ओपोनेंट आ जाए, आपकी आप ही वर्स्ट टीम होंगे. एंड वही हुआ यहाँ पे दोनों मैच में, कि वो
Hmm.
नहीं दिख रहा है प्लेयर का ट्रस्ट. हमने इससे पहले भी बात की थी, इट्स अ क्लियर केस ऑफ दैट. अदरवाइज इतने भी नहीं है बुरे, मतलब जो वो खेल रहे, अदरवाइज तो वो फुटबॉलर्स है ही नहीं, मतलब इतने बुरे हैं तो वो है ही नहीं फुटबॉलर्स फिर. अगर तो सिंपल सी बात है, तो फिर आपको इन सबको हटा ही देना चाहिए. बट आई डोंट थिंक सो कि इतने बुरे हैं, क्योंकि इन्होंने आईएसएल में चाहे कैसा भी लेवल हो आईएसएल का, वहां पे एटलीस्ट उन्होंने वो बेसिक करके थोड़ी सी चीजें करके दिखाई है. सो मेरे आई थिंक behind the scene everything is not right, and that is also यू कैन से रिफ्लेक्टिंग ऑन द फील्ड. आई थिंक वो क्लियरली परफॉर्मेंस के ऊपर भी नजर आ रहा है. एंड आप हमने आई थिंक जब मैच के दौरान भी आपने बोला था कि नहीं टीम, जब वो दूसरा गोल हमने कंसीड किया, देन टीम डिडंट लुक टू गो फॉर दैट सेकंड गोल. वो एटीट्यूड ही नहीं था टीम में कि हाँ हमें भाई इक्वलाइजर डालना है. वो मेंटालिटी ही नहीं थी, वो कैरेक्टर, वो चेहरे से आपको पता चल जाता है जब आप सारे प्लेयर का वो फेस दिखा रहे थे. दे डोंट हैव दैट यू कैन से कि हंगरनेस कि हाँ भाई वी नीड टू बाउंस बैक, वी हैव स्टिल 10-15 मिनट टू स्कोर इक्वलाइज. वो नहीं दिख रहा था उसमें, क्लियरली विजिबल था. एंड दैट शोज कि दिस टीम इज नॉट एज यूनाइटेड एज वी नीड टू बी. एंड I think that there is something is behind the scene is not right, and that is affecting the team's performance 100%. 100%.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not saying that is the only reason, but that is one of the reason for sure.
Yeah. That is exactly that's the point. I think there is something wrong in the team because it again people demanded certain players. Some of the players played today and they played as badly or even worse than the players played the other night in Aba in Saudi Arabia against the Afghans. So therefore, to me, it's not a question of player A, B, or C. I think we need to get out of that discussion. It doesn't matter who you called up. I think we need to face the fact that our players are not good enough at the moment, even the best, you know. Uh, uh, um, so 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 therefore, it's a very disturbing thing. Some more reactions here from you guys. Deepak Das asks, should ex BCCI officials be approached to run AFF because they have seen how a successful sports body is run in India, can their experience to Indian football some good? I doubt it, because again, I think the cricket has certain advantages with no other sports in India had, and I think for them, the first thing is that they have the money to spend. I think that's the first thing. The AFF doesn't have the money, that a BCCI by far doesn't have the money, and that's to me is one of the bigger problems. Uh, 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 um, you know, and so therefore these are realities. RCB run machine. Uzbekistan lost to Australia 0-6 in 2011, and look at where they are now. I mean, again, Uzbekistan has always been a decent side, so therefore they've evolved. Shaik is saying reactions understandable by the people. What is the future? No one knows yet, and that's I think the biggest problem. I think if you suffer such losses, you take decisions, and you sometimes take quick decisions. They might be wrong in the long run, but you need to take decisions. And this decision you've been pushing forward because has been evident that this coach is not taking any of our teams or the national team anywhere.
सर
Suraj, it's
दो,
not.
दो दिन couple of days
बताओ.
back हम जो बात कर रहे थे कि आफ्टर फर्स्ट मैच ड्रॉ, हमने वही बात की थी ना कि रिएक्शन यहाँ पे रिएक्शन इज नीडेड। आपको कुछ ना कुछ रिएक्शन देना पड़ेगा, तभी जाके चीजें थोड़ी सी यहाँ पे बैक ऑन ट्रैक आएगी, अदरवाइज इट्स कीप गेटिंग अ वर्स्ट। एंड वही हो रहा है। यू नीड टू गिव आइदर इट फ्रॉम प्लेयर, फ्रॉम सेकिंग अ कोच, व्हाटएवर, यू नीड दैट रिएक्शन, एंड तभी जाके कुछ होगा। बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली एफएफ इज नॉट एबल टू डू दैट, सो
Yeah, but that's been a problem. No? That's been a problem for a while. Suraj saying it's not about grassroots, sir. Leave grassroots. ISL talk, sir. There should be no excuse for this defeat against this Afghan side. What do you think will Igor be sacked now? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I would be surprised if you ask me if Igor gets sacked, because these people have shown no interest in reacting, and no statement, no nothing, and that to me is very worrying. Is that again? We have to talk about grassroots. We have to talk about ISL, because the national team is the end product of what you have been doing over the last 15, 20, 30 years. Or let's not even 30, let's say 50 or 70 years. Indian football needs to realize that we're nowhere near where we would like to be. That's our biggest problem, I feel. Our biggest problem is that we are not where we could, should, need to be. And that is something where we need to grow. We need to grow exponentially to try and be able to compete with others. Everybody around us is developing. Yet, Pakistan has got now their overseas players. Sri Lanka is getting their overseas players. Bangladesh is trying to get their overseas players. They will all get better. So therefore, even the South region will become stronger than us. Koro feels sad for the Vietnamese because of the naturalized players from Indonesia. Vietnam is doing the same thing, but hasn't had the luck so far. RCB run machine. I think today's game was a tactical mistake. Our midfield was getting bypassed in 2 to 5 passes. We make Afghanistan look like an Uzbekistan in the second half. Well, that is, if you want to go into the tactical side of things, yes, but why? Because to me, Jackson is not ready to play international football. Jackson is not physically fit as he was when last year when he was in his prime. Anwar Ali, to me, a lot of mistakes towards the end because he wasn't fit enough to play. Again, also, um, same can be said about Brandon. So I've got 3, 4, 5 players that I can mention. The less I say about Liston Colasso, the better, who are not up to the mark today. And the rest, they're there, but even they could not carry. Sunil was trying, not happening. Manvir also, the less we speak, the better. Manvir could have won the game for India. So these are the realities. No? So where do we do it? What can we do? Kumar asking if we can have a Twitter space. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what we're having now this live. I'll try and see if we can do it later. Sorry, same one. Mamni say hashtag kicks too much out. Suraj saying under Indian coach as well, we can defeat easy such sides, sir. Please give your view. Suraj, especially no. I think this is another thing that is a weird assumption of a lot of people, that if we have an Indian coach, we can sort of change things. I don't think so. There are friends of mine who in the last few 3 days were asking for certain players who played today and they were disaster. They were even worse than the players who were there the other day away. So to me, it has to be a foreigner, and it has to be the right foreigner. Ideally, someone with no links to India. I would say a good coach. Let him observe. Let him make his decisions. Not someone with cross links, because then you will always have this favoritism to this player, to these players, to those players. It automatically happens. I would like to have come someone new with no links coming into the system. I think that's something which I would like to see. And Indian Dreams World Cup say Ekdam Sai Hiren. So what you said a little earlier, that we should continue. Ashu Paji saying Ashley Westwood said he didn't even feel pressure, and that sums it up, guys. That for me is a
Hmm.
scary one, where and Ashley Westwood, and Ashu adds, even after one down, it shows how he knew Igor. Um, Maybe he knew Igor, or maybe he knew the Indian players. Ashley Westwood has
Hmm.
worked in India, not only at BFC, at ATK in the past, at Roundgrass Punjab. He's the guy who worked with Sunil when they set up BFC and all that stuff. So he knows these players. So to me, it was he did the basics right. So for me, it's not about did he do right or wrong. Ashley did the basics right and got the best out of the team. Kumar is asking or saying, Ornavada, as you said before, because of the foreigners, they are playing well because they are under pressure. They will pass to foreign players. And I said most of the chance creation was done by foreigners. Yeah, but that's a fact, Kumar. I mean, that's not just an observation from me. I think that's a factual thing that I've seen in the ISL, that the Indian players play to the foreigners, and the foreigners take the decision. If you have players who try and do something, then directly you can realize that at Mumbai City, Apuya, you know, some extent, not now. Last season you would have said Changte. Now you say Vikram. It directly, you can feel something, but that's very very rare, because the foreigners are the deciding factor. It's not just the strikers; it's across the field, and it's affecting us. Um, Jackson was just standing like a lamppost, says Ashu. Well, again, if you're not giving the tactical support by the coach, um, the inputs by the coach, what to do, how to do, where to stand, how to create your blocks, you're lost. The coach, even the best teams in the world, if they don't have a coach, people sometimes say, listen, the teams are so good, they don't need a coach. Even very very good teams need coaches. At least that's my experience. That so therefore, to me, that's something. Avikarsha Mondol says new low after Guam. That was even away. Um, yeah, that Guam loss at the time was really really bad, and then Stephen resurrected the team. But again, even Guam at the time played with most of the players in Guam, even though their rankings were terrible. Where there was one player from the MLS, and multiple players from I think the USL, and the lower and colleges. So that was again, our problem, biggest problem is our football basics are not good, and it hasn't changed. Baichung, I remember 25 years ago, a certain Baichung Bhutia said Neil Warnock at Bury taught him how to trap a ball, and we're still somehow there. That is my concern. That's my real concern at the moment. Roshan asks, if Simaj goes now, who could be available to jump in? I don't know. I wouldn't. Again, you still have 2.5 months. You have a camp in May. If they again, but the problem is also that the AFF is not in a shape that you would say things are good. Um, I would normally say advertise it, make it public. I mean, it'll go around the world anyway, and let's see who applies. I think there would be some very interesting coaches with interesting, uh, who would apply, and where we could, it's to me. I think, yeah, you know, and yeah, some of the things I don't have answers. Um, RCB Run Machine says, we talk about where Indian players will play in Europe, but after looking at the number of missed passes, yeah, I think again RCB. Um, I have to say that, yeah, that's the reality of our football at the moment. Hiren's just left off. Thanks. uh, and that's a concern to me. And where can we go? How can we grow? I think that's these are all questions that we can't answer at the moment, right? So therefore, that's my concern. If I look at the whole thing, where do we stand? How do we do get better? Uh, um, so Pradeep Shinde says, I'm Maharashtrian. I'm ashamed that I've watched matches of Indian football. Respect for Afghanistan. Indian football की हालत पाकिस्तान से भी बुरी है जैसे मुझे कुछ फर्क नहीं padega ab. So for him, again, he's ashamed, yes, and our situation is worse than that of Pakistan, and he doesn't care, and that's a different one. That's a difficult one, I think. That we should care, and that's something. Sorry, I want to take this. I think Shirin says, I think this is the best time to react, given chance to new players, give national team camp after the ISL before June match, include players from ISL, highly create style of play, work from there. What style of play, guys? It is what style of play? We don't have the players for a certain style of play. I think we should stick to the basics. Try and defend and somehow score a goal. We have to go back to the basics. If we're talking about style, gameplay, and possession, this, that, it is not working. We do not have the players. And the question is, are the new players going to be better than the old ones? And I have my doubts. I honestly have my doubts on this. Um, do you think, Arijit Sinha says, do you think Asaf dominance is about to end? I have fears, Arijit, that this could happen, because if the others are, they're doing a lot of things right, so we have to do right things. So let's see if it happens. And Anirban Chatterjee is saying, our coach useless and management also. In that way, sadly, I have to say yes, because the management is just doing a wait and watch and hoping things will improve. And living of hot air and love doesn't work. So therefore, it's not happening. So Ashu says, and also I felt from the last game the confidence or the trust or just something was missing in this team. And it's my opinion that when selects his first 11 shows how confused he is. Yeah, yeah. Um, the confidence level was lower than the last game. We started off well, had a few chances here and there, and then the longer the game lasted, both in the first and second half, we fell apart. We fell apart. And I remember in the live I said a few times, luckily, Afghanistan is bad in their finishing. That's why we're leading. That was before they scored the equalizer. And yeah, it's just disappointing to say the least. Because of low intensity football of ISL, Indian players look good in ISL, get exposed in international. I don't think it's the intensity of international football. See, these are lower level footballers who are not coming from some top league where the intensity is high. It's just how are we putting ourselves together to try and win games? That's my biggest looking at this team. And again, name me any player who was on the bench, or name me any player who's in the Indian league who could have come in and made a difference today. That is my simple point. Because the team is broken. My biggest concern is this team is broken, you know. And Shaggy adds, good evening, Shaggy. We have become way too predictable. Away teams feel no pressure. They know our players' performances in ISL. Yeah, predictability is that we're hoping something happens for us. Because we can't I mean, we are unable to dominate our opponents, and especially this downfall over the last 5 6 months. That is, I think, the most concerning thing to me. Yeah? And that's my thing. That's my concern. Kumar adds, Arunava, are people asking for possession football? Are people don't have basic technical skills, first touch and proper movement? Stephen got the best. Stephen's style suited us best. He did not complain. Well, that's the first thing. I think Stephen didn't complain. Stephen tried to do. Stephen's situation was much, much worse. If you look at where our ranking was and where Stephen got us, that's one thing. And on the other side, and it's you have to understand that our players have deficiencies, and we need to talk about those deficiencies. Orito says, in case of Banga, initially the talk was quality of players, bail out the coach, but all the arguments against Team Match, which I agree, was about quality of our players if they can't bail us out against Afghanistan. It's a combination of both. I think it's a question of the coach, and it's the question of the players, and the question of if under a different coach, would our players play better? Simple. I'm throwing out a question, and I think yes, they would. I think they would. Um, Avikash is saying probably better to bring Constantine back. Well, that's not going to happen. He's of course head coach of Pakistan at the moment. Anush says, I fear that we will win against Kuwait and Igor will stay here for 10 more years. Yeah, at the moment after today's match, I don't see us winning against Kuwait. I don't know how we are in a position to beat anyone at the moment. I mean, that's my biggest concern. Looking at this, this was bad. This was really, really bad. What I'm seeing today, and those of you who would like to, I'd actually made a video late last night, early this morning, about what I would request the Indian football team to do, and that sums up to me. My request was, I want to see passion, I want to see fight, I want fire, something. And that's the basic. Forget the football part. If we are football wise worse, forget it. Okay, TK, I accept it. But we are not even able to try and play football, trying to fight on the field, trying to survive. And that's the problem. Neve Grover says work needs to be done from the junior level, from dieting to physical abilities. Everything needs to be done from the junior level. Unfortunately, that's again going to take more than 15, 20 years. Well, Neve, yeah, that's part of the reality, right? That we need to get the work done, and that work, that's there are in Indian football. We hope Jugaad will get us through, and these are realities that Jugaad gets you nowhere. I think that's the biggest example of everything, that Jugaad gets us nowhere. The work needs to be done, right? And that is the concern that I have. That we're always looking for shortcuts and we're not getting where we need to go. LM7 says, sir, what needs to be done immediately? Well, to me, immediately, I would have said sack Stimac tonight. Very simple, you know, and that's something which I think would be my solution today. Sack the coach. There's no excuse. Again, other things you could go excuses and all. Uh, 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 so rather trying European coach, Prasad saying we should go for an Asian coach. To me, the nationality doesn't count. To me, it's like, can we find someone who fits us? Do you think bringing ISL coaches and players so much who knows Indian football for a long time could improve what is needed most? That's from Riddhi Datta. Riddhi, I feel national coaches, normally you need some exposure, knowledge of international football and how it works, because it's different. A club coach is there for most of the time. If you have a problem, you sign a player, be it Indian or be it foreigner. You sort your problems that way. In a national team, you have to sort your problems with the player material which is available to you. Sorry, just a quick sip of water. Thank you. Because to me, that's a challenge, right? A club coach is something different, which is different. Personally, something bad happened in the last game, akin to your girlfriend cheating on you. Not sure if one can move on from this. Chetan is saying, yeah, there's something. It's hard, right? It's tough. It's regardless of the coaching. Avikarsha says players simply were out of ideas. That's the most worrying part of this. That after conceding the second, we were clueless. Yeah, that's the thing, right? So, do you not think the essence of foreign coaches like Alejandro and grassroots level academy system? Yeah, again, even at grassroots level, at youth level, we need to bring in the right coaches. So therefore, that's a must in my opinion. Ike Singh, hi Arunava, hope you're well. Just joined Supan. I missed this. Was a question already asked? Okay, you're asking a question. 1 second. Before I come to IK, Roshan said Ashley Westwood told about the match. His coaching made a lot of match analysis. Honestly, thinks too much underestimated Afghanistan. Yes, I think he did. I think he did because also the way we played away. We needed 6 points. Very simple. If we get 6 points, a draw against Kuwait would have been enough for us. We would have been sorted. But we played the way we did. We did not put any pressure on Afghanistan. We just couldn't. And there is something, yeah, which is lacking. Shireen says, I feel there is an issue inside the team players because watching ISL feels entirely different. Even Mumbai after issues they regroup. Why national team cannot regroup? Um, I think the players, leadership, um, and yeah, the foreigners make a difference, right? Do make a difference, and of course the quality of coach. AK, let's talk about the macro level problems. How would you sum result up in context of the federation, the coaching, the ISL, and everything else? Um, and you add what went wrong or even continue to go wrong the way things are. Um, to me, I think the key thing, the key thing is um, that the federation is not as stable as they should be. Um, that the federation, if should learn, need to take tough calls. I think in Indian football, very often that is. And I'll tell you an own story. After the first season when I was at Mumbai City and I put the team together, and I still think we had the best team in season one of the ISL at Mumbai City, and I wasn't happy. I resigned myself and left and said, listen, I failed. And I still feel that way, because I felt my own accountability levels. I did not do what I was needed to do to 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 get the team, to get the club to the level that I felt they should. And it's great to see where they are. But for me, that was a problem. So in India, there is no very often there is no accountability in Indian football or Indian sports in general. Shashank says these two games should have been used for gaining confidence after AFC shambles, but ego dragged us in more ditch. Yeah, Shashank, I couldn't um, say it in a better way. These matches were there to regroup and get ready for June and fight. You know, uh, so for me, yeah, he took us down a very very dark hole, and let's see if we are able to get out of that dark hole. Arijit says, in a way, win against Kuwait, a fluke. Most probably it was, but we're still coming out of the better phase. If you think, we were Kings Cup, drew Iraq, were unlucky not to beat Iraq, Malaysia 4-2, good games. And so therefore we were in a better state. And then we lost to Qatar. The Asian Cups, we were in shambles. Let's be very clear. And thereafter we haven't been able to regroup. So that's. Shireen said, even Hyderabad with Indian player, they play better. Yeah, but again, that's ISL. That doesn't matter. Dark Knight. Good evening. Constantine doesn't care about possession football, but knows how to win matches. And again, for me, at the national team level, at the moment, where we are, where we stand, um, I feel any conversation about gameplay, possession, tactics doesn't matter. If we couldn't even defend a 1-0 against Afghanistan, and then a lucky 1-0 because we scored out of a penalty. I think in natural play, I think we wouldn't have been able to score today. Let's be honest about that. And Mahindra Ras, overhyped Indian football sucks. Yeah, but that's the reality, right? That it's been a brilliant PR story, but we haven't been able, let's see. Gidu Turi says, Jyoti Swarup, hope to see a sacking report to steamers tomorrow. I hope so as well, but I don't see it coming. So that's the reality. And yeah, before I forget, again, guys, hope you're liking it and hope to continue discussion. Do like Arunfoot here on YouTube and also my other socials. So we'll be doing this more often. Sagar Kala says, Ek Jugaad, OIC players. Yeah, that's Jugaad. Let's see if it works or not. But again, I think we've got elections coming up, so that might be a difficult one. Let's see what happens. And Shaggy says, that's the most important thing. Cheat codes and Jugaads are not the way forward. Yeah, that's exactly. I think we have to invest into grassroots and do things the proper way. That's something which I think, yeah, which it works. Kumar says, Navada Chetri should announce his retirement. He should not get this kind of abuse after so many things for Indian football. He should retire. I'm asking with respect. Again, Sunil to me is like a little brother, so it's his decision. He has to decide for himself when he thinks it's right. But yeah, I think he has to feel, and you know he has to. I think he's got a few weeks. I think by June, um, after the qualifiers, I think most probably that's the end of it, and maybe he'll retire completely from football. I don't know. So therefore, let's see what happens. Arijit, Indian football fans and Bangladesh cricket fans are on even keel, most probably. Um, and Mahendra says, without Sunil Chhetri, Indian football is nothing. Well, there is no one bigger than Indian football, so that, and Ashur says fans in the stadium did Viking clap celebration with Afghan players. They played well, and this is great respect to everyone who went to the stadium today, who went to the game, who watched the game, and under these circumstances, I know a few people had been in touch with me and said, I don't know if I should go or should not go. I've got a ticket and all that stuff. And then I said, guys, go support the team. I hope things will be better. And yeah, sadly, to me is that yeah, I still don't know how we lost this one. It's just shocking, and it's deserving. That's the sad part. It's not that it's a fluke win for Afghanistan. Afghanistan actually deserved both matches, if I'm honest. Arjit says no India at Subhash Bhomik, Tuni Goswami, Nova, who are better than Sunil Chhetri ever was. Again, that's an old discussion. Who was better? Who was not better? To me, difficult one. Prasad says Manolo or Benali look good options if Steam sack. As I said, I don't think I would take someone from the ISL. I would bring someone with international coaching experience who has no links. And Shobik Laha says sack Steamach, not even Steamach. Mr. Kalyan, Mr. I Vijayan should take responsibility of this situation. They're former players of our nation. Well, to me, it doesn't matter if they're ex-players or not. To me, is that professional management, and at the moment, they're not professional in their management. Avikasha says, I completely agree, Arunava. The passion is missing. AFF needs to sack Steamach immediately. We still have some chance for third round if we can bring a good foreign coach and ignite the fire. Exactly, that's to me. I think we are at such a low. That with the right decision of the right coach coming in and just getting the basics right with these players, I think we can get a result against Kuwait. I think any coach who comes in, the players are not as bad as this. They were, sounds bad, but I have to say, they were today playing like headless chickens. At least it felt like it for me. There was no plan, there was no clue. And you were hoping someone was going to get the ball in here, got the ball in there, you lose the ball, you win the ball. What were we trying to play? So let's see. And Arjit says, if Afghanistan reaches round 3, it will be the story of World Cup qualification, especially with this team. Exactly. Great respect, Ashley Westwood. Great respect to my good old friend Amiri and his team. Yeah, we were not the better team in these two matches. Avikasha says AFF should learn from MBE. Yeah, again in a different way, I guess, but that could be a conversation. Sharon says Thangbo Singto can a good coach for national team. He knows more about Indian players than foreign coaches. That to me is not the qualification. Again, as I said, and Avikasha, yes, the coach simply does not take any responsibility. That's part of the problem, I feel. That's a big part of the problem that we're facing in this whole setup, that the coach doesn't take what is happening. Avikasha says, makes me wonder how this team was so good in SAF. Listen, SAF, we were good because the others were unable to score goals. I saw Lebanon and Kuwait, and they were as good as us, or even better. And again, we need to go penalty shootouts, right? So therefore, um, tough games, right? Harsh says, why we blaming the coach? Our defenders do not have the desire to win because the coach, you know, um, the defenders play as good as what the coach tells them or works with him, right? So therefore, to me, surely the coach is the weakest link in always around the world, and to me, the coach has not found solutions to make us better. Uh, um, AK says, I'm not a fan of band-aid solution like the SAG. Speaking from a German experience, what should be the way forward? I'm also not normally a band-aid sort of solution guy. Just rip it off and try and do something. But in this case, this has been going on for a while. I think the coach should have left 2 3 years ago because I didn't see any development. The best time of Igor Stimac, and I saw both these games in Guwahati against Oman. Very good game for 70 minutes. After 70 minutes, we didn't have the legs. Oman scored 2 goals and took the game from us. Very good game from us. Away in Qatar, we draw 0-0 in Doha at the Al Saad Stadium. Um, Fighting match. Of course, Qatar had a lot of good chances. Gurpreet in his prime. Udanta nearly nicked one, and we could have actually beaten them away from home. So these are things, right? So therefore, for a while, when COVID came in, I thought he's not getting us the results. So therefore, should have gone a while back. Kasif Raza says India require Japanese coach. Okay, that's your opinion. Uh, uh, অভিনব পল says সত্যি কথা বলতে আমাদের পেনাল্টি ছাড়া আর কোনো গতি নেই, and that's a scary part. I mean, Nava says, without the penalty we didn't have actually any other real chances, and um that's a you know that's a big one, and scary one actually. Suraj says, what do you think, can India still qualify realistically? I think yes, we can. But if we don't do a coach change, I see it as very difficult to try and change things. I think that's my concern at the moment is if we change the coach, maybe then something could be done. Otherwise, looks difficult. Shashank says, Suraj, mathematically yes, but don't have any hope. Um, Avikasha says, do you see any new coach in the Kuwait game? What I see, they will sack Igor and until AF finds a new one. Could be. Wouldn't be the worst option, but for that the AFF has to sack the coach, and that's Um, and Arijit says, just imagine had it been Palestine, Jordan, or even Malaysia, how many goals India would have conceded. I don't even want to think. Uh, 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 भाई मुझे ही आना पड़ेगा अब मैं ज़्यादा प्रैक्टिस करने से. Okay, you think missing Sandesh Ashik may be reason. Prashant Singh says, no, not to me. Again, it's not a question of who's missing or who's not missing. We should be good enough to cover 4 players. Again, when Anwar was missing, it was fine, and now Sandesh is missing, so we should be able to, uh, uh, you know, uh, from long time back, I'm saying coach is the reason the Indian team is not moving ahead, says Nazari blogger. Yeah, yeah. And King Law says, sir, frankly speaking, now I have no patience left. Now I can't watch this team play. And that. And you add, today Apuya was shit, but still the best on the pitch, shows a level. Yeah, but again, you're trying to plug holes, and Apuya was trying to, cover for the weakness of Jigson, and that didn't work. Not only Jigson, but also Brandon as well. They were, didn't work. Interesting also, Suresh didn't really feature, right? That's an interesting one. And Nazari adds, from the day we select ego by ignoring Roka, we made mistakes. Yes, I agree. And Abhinav Mishra says AFS should be private body like BCCI. Well, that's a totally different discussion. Could be had, could be not had, but it's something that could happen. could not happen, should happen. I don't know. To me, is I think that's not the conversation. I think the conversation today is about the leadership and about how good, how bad the leadership is in the AFF, and that's our biggest problem. I think that we lose a game like this. We can lose a game. I don't have a problem with losing a game, but the question is, how do you lose a game? And that was my concern today. That we lost a game in a way which was just pathetic to say the least. We you know I don't know. I don't know where how we could be better in any way. Champion Fool is should good career of Mumbai City get a chance in national team and as a sub to Chetri after 50, 65, 70 minutes every game, even Sisek to at least have a backup number 9. I don't think Gurkirat or Shiva Shakti are ready for national team football. Again, and that is something um, I feel that these guys are um, have a certain level of talent, but they have to rough and toughen up in the ISL, become regulars in the ISL, and then get into the national team. And we saw Ishan Pandita the same thing. As much as I would like to see Ishan play for us, but Ishan is a super sub, and that's a problem for not only strikers but in multiple positions. Right, we're playing now with makeshift centre backs. Um, yeah, that's the reality. King Law said Manvir, Liston, Jackson, Bose, Beke, Pujari, the main. We lost today and still don't know why these are in the team. Name me others who are better who should be in the team. To be very honest, it doesn't make a difference who you pick. In this current scenario, in this current climate, name me a player. Don't come me with Nanda Kumar, this, that. The only player I would think, there are two players who I would like to see in the national team, but I don't know if they would have made any difference, and that is Sana and Putea. Those two, yeah, I would have liked to have seen in the squad or maybe even playing. But again, they're not there. But otherwise, again, it doesn't make a difference. Seriously, did you see Manvir 2 weeks ago for Mohun Bagan? He was brilliant. He was really, really bombing up and down and playing good quality football. So therefore, there must be different reasons why these guys are playing like that. Kumar says, or Navada, I don't even see one player not blocking the passing lanes of the Afghan team. They are passing easily. Yeah, because the Afghans were able to get their flow going, right? We were trying to put in our legs and then putting our legs, then, uh, uh, um, you know, and you know, yeah, we were bad. Akarsha says we were lucky to win against Kuwait. To be honest, yes, that's the thing. That gives our realistic chance to qualify for the next stage. That we were able to beat um, Kuwait in that first game. All the realities are different after that. Arijit Sinha says China hammered Singapore after being heavily criticized. Do you think India capable of similar thing? China was criticized after their first game last week with a 1-1 and came back with a 4-1 today. So, yeah, I don't see. Again, China should normally be better than Singapore, but are we better than Kuwait? So these things then come in, right? I mean, I want to check when are they playing tonight against. One second, sorry guys, just want to go. Just want to see when are they playing? Okay, at 12:30 India time, Kuwait host Qatar. So hopefully, Qatar keep up their home form. Their form in this group and win a third game, because otherwise it could get even more interesting. King lost. Yeah, but still better to play 20-year-old rather than these crap. At least they will learn something. Again, will they learn something? Are they better? That's my question. That's my question. Pavai Dua says ego has been justifying too much last 3 years. He covered everything with words. Yeah, exactly. Perfectly said. And that's my reality. Rana says Sunil should score 100 goals for India, then immediately should retire after that. I hope so. And that's it. Champions Fool, yes, 12:30. That's the time when Kuwait hosts Qatar tonight. Kumar says our players are not providing passing lanes to other players of our team. I do not even see our players not making triangular passes. You're going too complicated, Kumar. Triangular passes, how? Not happening with this team at the moment. David Boy says, I'm very upset about today's performance. They always break a heart. I can't take it anymore. And a lot of crying emojis. Um, yeah, so that's that. Yeah, that's another realities. Ogni says, sir, even Afghanistan FA with all the problems could appoint a better coach than Steamach. Well, factually right. Ashley Westwood today got the job done. So, uh, um, so that's one. King Lost says Kuwait are technically better than us. No chance against them considering today's performance. Yes, but again, we did beat them in the last two meetings, right? So therefore, who knows? If Kuwait wins today, third round is gone. Yep. So therefore, everyone pray that Qatar wins in Kuwait City tonight. Today, Vietnam already they sacked their coach after losing 3 against India, but here's that's we've spoken about it, and Arijit says Oppenheimer's nuclear fusion is less complex than tactics of Igor Stimac. Yeah, that's sadly very very true. That has been the case, and that's a reality which is brutal. That it's let's see where it goes. And King Law said it's good if we will not go to third round, otherwise we became a joke if we go to round three. Yeah, on one side, yes. On the other side, we would get 10 quality games, would qualify directly for the next Asian Cup. Has certain advantages, but I do see where you're coming from, King Lost. Ogni is saying the same cycle continues. We will anyhow qualify for 2027 Asian Cup by playing qualifiers, lower ranked team, win SAF. Again, was performance World Cup qualifiers, cycle continues. I mean, what can I say? I mean, you are spot on. I thought we were a little, uh, 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 and it's to me is it's very disappointing, very very heartbreaking. That we are in the situation where we are in, which we didn't need to be in. We didn't need to be in this situation. If we had taken the right steps, I think we could have done better. But yeah, we are in the reality where we are in. King lost, and still some people are supporting Steamach, and I don't know which football they watch. Agree. I mean, and I said last summer, I don't think Igor Steamach is the right coach. But hey, we were winning. So a lot of people said, why are you saying that? Even friends of mine said, I don't think he's the right coach. But hey, who cares? This is where we are now in. Agni says, with a better coach, like actually the one with quality with the boys, how realistic can we get with pool of 50 players? See, to me is if I see, uh, 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 to me is this team is not the best in the world. Okay, get that. But on the other side, these players have some basic understandings. And if I get at least the basics right, if I get the basics right, a game like today, if I just do the basics right, have a proper spirit, a proper base system, I should be able to win 1-0, 2-0 against Afghanistan. But we couldn't. So that's the real concern at the moment to me. That with this, bunch of players, we are in the situation that we are in. Which it's like after Intercontinental, India is not playing basic football right. There is no chemistry, any player from goalkeeper to striker. No communication. Midfield is almost empty. There are issues where repeating. Yes, Abhishek. That's the main thing, right? We're not doing the football basics right. And it seems to me that the coach is not giving the players the tools to do the basics right. And that's it. And Kumar, Rahul Beke and Nikhil Pujari are thinking of passing each other. Nikhil Pujari not at all seeing the players. He thinks he's the only player on the field. Again, Kumar, we can go into every player, and there's no Indian player who today or a few days back in ABBA played good. So it makes no sense to discuss individual names. Again, even squad selection, to me, it doesn't make a difference. We don't have that exceptional player. As I said, to me, Sana as a defender and Putea, I would have liked to have seen. But otherwise, I don't see any player who could have made a difference. Who is that kind of a player that will make a difference in this team? Till Iraq game, everything was going good. After that, we fall faster than stock market. I don't think till Iraq game, everything went good. If you see the SAF, even Interconti or Tri-Nation, a lot of the games we were lucky because we were scoring goals at the right time. But there was no quality to me. Devil Boy says we love football so much, but this is breaking heart. Yes, very, very truly, Devil Boy. This is not only breaking your heart, but is, I think, breaking all of our hearts. Um, it's yeah, it's yeah, it's something needs to change, because this is not even disappointing. This I was yeah, I don't know what to say. Agni adds, do you think apart from coach something changed in the dressing room? Also in SAF final, we saw a fighting spirit with the same coach and staff. You watched the games, the home mentality changed. I think something is certainly wrong in the dressing room. I don't know what, but or maybe do I know? I have some guesses, but I'm not going to mention them publicly. But there has to be something wrong in the dressing room, and massively wrong in the dressing room, because um, this team is lifeless. It's like shadows sort of playing on the field and just playing for the sake of playing, and that's it's not good enough. So that's King Law says, भाई बस पार्क ही कर लो, अगर ढंग से कर पाए हो, हम वो भी देख लेंगे. Yeah, parking the bus, is that the solution? um I don't know. It's if you park the bus but your defense is not good enough. It's like, you're parking your bus and you're keeping actually two bus spaces in between for everyone to go through. That's sort of our situation at the moment, I feel. Agni asking, tackling is the worst coach in football ever. Uh, yeah, yeah. I would think that would be my concern, is that he is most protected, the worst coach ever. Some players take a whole decade to pass the ball until the time they decide opponent is in final third with ball. Yeah, I mean, King Lost, again, it's decision making, positioning, being switched on. We're talking about the basics of football, and the basics of football with this team are not right. And that was, is, and will be my concern. And Agni asks, without taking the names, do we have the committee team favoritism quota system? I can't prove anything of this, so therefore, I'll not get into that. The team at the moment, in the current form, is just not good enough, in my opinion, and that's the reality. To me, is yeah, it's just not. It was just not there today. That's the concerning part, that we were just not there today in trying to create something. Hardik asked, mention the worst players in ascending orders. Hardik, I don't want to go through a list of mentioning the worst players, because I think it's unfair, because I think there is no one that I can mention you who played really well in this team, be it today or be it a few days ago away against Afghanistan. That's my that's my take. Devil Boy says, sir, your explanation is great. Love it. Thank you very much, Devil Boy. Always welcome. Nice to hear your feedback on these kind of things. Um, King Lost saying Jeeks and Liston were giving away the balls like Prasad in whole match. Not only them, a lot of the others as well. We're losing the balls too easily, and that's a concern. Ogni, even Hyderabad young boys could have played better, yeah, but not at this level. This is, they've done well, and that's a disturbing fact. Hardik, your suggestion for the next coach? I said, have an open process. I think, try and bring in coaches from around the world um, to apply, and then try and find the best fit. I think that's the best that the AFF can do. As I said, I don't want to go for an ISL coach. I would go for someone fresh, but someone with the right approach, with the right pedigree, with the right background. Do a little background check on the guys, and that's something. Shimona was saying, I'm Guwahati and I saw this team doesn't understand what football is. It's a long way to go and many years to come to beat easy the other opponents. Again, Shimona, as I said the other day, great that you went to Guwahati to watch the team, and mm, yeah, to support them. My huge respect for that. Only says, how much does this kind of result impact the players mentally? Can they bounce back mentally? They are at bad shape. Even Chetri losing hope. I felt that at the end. Sunil's head buried in his hands. I think he was crying. I felt bad for Sunil because I know Sunil for nearly 2 decades. He's tried to give everything for this team, but yeah, I don't know if this is the end of Sunil Chetri in that way, and yeah, it's a concern. It's a concern. It's very sad to see how things have sort of progressed, and let's see what for the players. It's going to be tough, yeah, but I think the club coaches will try and take them forward. If you were the coach for a year, what would you do? What would I do? I would try and realize who are the players who can play international football. I would try and focus on the basics. I nothing fancy. Focus on the basics and focus on getting results. And friendly matches, tournaments like Tri Nation, Intercontinental Cup. I would use to test players. That's what I would do. You know, to see who is capable or not capable of playing for the national team. I mean, sometimes you play well and dominate, but still lose, then it hurts. But when you don't play good and don't even try to put in efforts, hurt badly. King, that's my feeling. If and I did that's why I created that video with my sort of request to the players last night. Where if I saw the players trying everything, giving everything on the field, giving their heart, their soul, having passion, fire, losing, I don't have a problem. But when I see them lose like this, it is, yeah, it's difficult because it was so bad today. Um, it's not good enough. It just isn't good enough. Chairman Full, any update on Ashik? Ashik still is injured, is not recovered. So yeah, and his miss surely is a miss. Manish, do you think it's coach? Yeah, 100%. It's the coach's fault, Manish. The team has no structure, no tactical awareness, no system, no nothing. The team is all over. How is it that these players perform for their clubs and then show this in India jersey? Mumbai has been assisting for Mohan Bagan, for example. Ankit, I said that. Manveer, before these India games, was really, really good in top form. Sometimes even playing on the left flank was really good. We saw the other night Vikram out of position, Changte. They were all decent. Apuya were all playing decent, and they've literally collapsed. That's my concern, right? So, um, yeah, Indian players were in a hurry whenever they have the ball. They can't take possession of ball. Yeah, but it's to me is I feel the players don't have. I don't know. There's something wrong, right? So according to best coach India had, the ones that I met overall, Stephen was very good, but sorry, Stephen, I'm going to say that to me, Bob Houghton was the best. You know, Vipul says I don't feel like supporting them anymore, giving up. No, Vipul, I think that is one thing which you should not do. I think that's my experience of the last 26 years now. There'll be more downs than ups. I think keep supporting, and especially when there are success stories, we will all enjoy them even more. Be it last summer's SAF victory, or be it the victory against Kuwait. These small little things we'll have to live with. So yeah. Renal asks, is the coaching Mizoram Nopang League of good quality? As someone who saw that, that's your take on this. Is there any hope of them? I've not seen them personally, so for me to give a judgment is very difficult. They're trying to do a lot of things right in Mizoram, but I can't say if it's the right thing or the wrong thing at the moment. So, Renal, sorry. Yeah, if I would have been coach, मैं यो जहिर क्या लेता इसलिए performance के बाद. Yeah, that's difficult. I saw on Insta people calling Manveer Khalistani. Not acceptable. Sorry, guys. I mean, um, there are, be it Steve Munch as a coach, be it um, any of the players. Um, Racial abuse is not acceptable. Period. To me, that's a no go. So you know that's very bad. So that's our players are not bad, but something is not going right, says Hardik. Yeah, our players are not bad, but we also need to realize our players are not as good as some of us might have been thinking. Um, so that's why, yeah, these are realities. These are realities. People, yes, Agni, we've spoken about it that they were doing the Viking clap for the Afghan players. Great spirit, much appreciated, 100%. To me, it shows class of the Indian fans in that way, right? Because they do accept that the opponent on this night, Afghanistan, were better than us and deserved to win. That's the sad reality, but again, yeah, that's something. Himanshu says we need new management. Yep, we need that. King Law said today I'm more happy for Afghanistan win than India's win. Um, yeah, I'm happy for Afghanistan. To be very honest, I'm happy with all that the country is going through. Again, I know some of the players. Know um, Ashley as well. So congratulations from my side. Yeah, so that's the other thing. Manish says we blame coach, but somewhere players can't doing that which we want. See when they play for club, then national teams. Yeah, well, that's the job of the coach, and the coach has to get the best out of the team. And to me, that was not good enough. Very simple. Vedant says extreme chanting against too much in team. Have you seen it? Yes, I've seen some of it. It's normal around the world after such a performance that you will chant against the coach and the players. Aryan, hello, no, sir. How are you doing? I'm good. No, I'm not doing good actually. I'm uh, feeling bad after this loss. It's I didn't expect much from these two games to be very honest. But I was at least hoping that at least we'll get 4 points out of the two matches. But yeah, 1 out of 6 is just what people are chanting. Yeah, seen it. Do you think Kerala's upcoming Super League can revive Kerala football totally? Don't think so. I think the idea and plan is something different. I think it needs to be an overall plan. I don't see the Kerala Super League being that product, but let's see. I guess today even Steamach will lose his fans in India. People were chanting Steamach out. People are vocal. Yeah. So that's the thing. Vedant says, sir, but a player can defeat Afghan C team, they at least that much good. Yeah, but we lost, right? So therefore, let's see. And if Israel election happening, I don't know. Depends on the Supreme Court. You know, show video of Igor out and gali gali mein chor hai, AFF chor hai. Yeah, but you have to live with it, and that's the problem of these people. Today, Afghanistan would be feeling the same as we would if we would defeat Qatar. Somewhat, yeah. It's a huge victory given the circumstances, right? Ogni is asking you use the Asia Cup to pray for World Cup, use World Cup to pray for Asian qualifiers, then Asia Cup for SAF. Yeah, it's a cycle. As you said earlier, it's a cycle. It's a disturbing cycle that the coach goes on. If we felt we're not as hungry as Afghanistan, I felt we were not as hungry. Yeah, surely, surely. The hunger was missing, the passion was missing, all of that. Mani says, so somewhere POI players hit us. We need, yeah, players of origin, yes, certainly. But I don't know when it's happening. Devil Boy is saying Indian football should improve play as the regional styles like Brazil work on regional coach and players. We don't need to play like Brazil. Again, we don't need to play like Argentina or Spain or whatever. We need to find our own. But again, we're not even, to me, we're not even going into that style discussion. To me, it's about getting the basics right. And we're not getting the basics right at the moment. That's my biggest concern looking at what we did, and it's disturbing. Pradeep saying, why blame too much only when our players unable to goal? Afghanistan don't play in their country, but still they won. I feel um, the coach always takes a majority of the blame, and but the players are not out of it. To me, all the players are not out of it, and it starts with Sunil and goes on to the last player who came on. So that's these are reality. Anis is for the only chance scoring is through penalties, even against mighty Afghanistan. Yeah, that's the reality, Aryan, at the moment. That's I think everyone's concern that where we stand, we need penalties to save a match against Afghanistan. Renil says, do you think we should probably give more importance to our under 17s, under 20s, under 23s rather than senior team? No, I think we should give equal importance. The point is at the moment is we're giving a certain importance to the seniors. The under 23s have been revived, so that's a good step. But under 20s, under 17s, what's happening? Do you know anything? I don't know anything. Sachin asking why our players can't even provide proper pass. If I could answer that, I would know a lot. Good evening, Shushmit. You're looking like you're on sidelines when India lost. If only if people who can make decisions were this sad. Well, Shushmit, we've spoken a lot about this. Yeah, this is very sad, very very sad. It's just not happening today. Jigger, this is how we play in a must-win match, even after taking the lead even early. Why did we hold the ball at the back and waste time? That too against Afghanistan C team. Why? Um, it's the why is a good question, and I don't have an answer to it. You know, Jigger, that's the problem. Nobody has an answer. I think today, why we played the way that we played today. We were terrible. We were terrible today. And to me, that's the concern, that we are in the situation where we are in. I don't know. What should be our first step? Well, first step, I think, is fire the coach. Very simple, Hardik. To me, that's our king lost. Lister Mavir, अपने आप को क्या मेसिनेमा समझ रहते हैं? एक पास प्लेयर्स को ड्रिबल पास करने की कोशिश. Yeah, the problem is that कोशिश करते हैं. So to me, that's the difficulty, right? I think that we have certain players who overestimate their quality. Vipul says if we have a longer camp like Afghanistan, we would easily have won the game. Afghanistan didn't have a long camp. Afghanistan had a shorter period together than uh, you know than we did. So I don't know where this long camp topic comes up. India need to play outside of SAF. Yeah, but what would it help to play outside of SAF? Who wants to play us after this game, guys? On a serious note. Manwe looks so good in Mohanbagan, looks so bad here. Yeah, Vedant couldn't agree more. Sachin says India needs a hybrid team of origin local players. India needs 3 or 4 origin players in crucial positions as striker and attacking midfielders. Let's see what happens to this whole origin players topic, if that will be rising amongst the AFF. How can people from AFF will go, as we know they're never going to resign by their own? That's what Rida says. Yes, that's also a fact. Let's see what happens in the federation. Then we have got Vedant, expect Vikram, no other player given chance. Amay, Jay, and Imran. Again, I don't know if these are the kind of matches that you want to put those 3 in. So let's see. Vedant says East Bengal signed Mehdi Talal, linked with demand of course best striker and attacking midfielder ISL. Well, let's see what they do. We'll talk about signings another day. साफ को बंद कर देना चाहिए सीनियर टीम के लिए और दूसरे किसी बेटर कप में पार्टिसिपेट करना चाहिए. Bhavesh, why would they? I mean, this is not something that we decide that you disband SAF and then we go somewhere. It's not. That's the thing. Rushmit says, do you think Igor doesn't command respect anymore? These players will do better if they have a coach they look up to. I think they would do better with any coach. I think that's the real problem. I think we were so far down um, that any coach coming in, they would do better. Time to react now. Don't fall for stupid excuses of Igor's team match. Just Trigger, agree with that. Anna Bakshi says, today on behalf of Modi, Chi Kalyan, open new tourist destination Guwahati, gateway of Rahul Beke. Arnab, just to blame one player is not enough. It starts with Anwar with the slip. Shubhashish doesn't do a block. I think Apuya Jigson was also in the middle. So it doesn't, it doesn't make sense, you know. My says POI OCI player very important. Yeah, but it's not happening, right? Somashaka, David from Mohammedan Sporting, Sujmita from PFC deserve the spot for striker and centre back. They are not good enough for a national team. Sorry, Showman. This is also, we have to also wake up to reality. If these players who are playing are not good enough, there are no players hiding somewhere who are much better than the players playing somewhere. Guys, that is another reality we have to wake up to. Anyone can be better than Igor. We don't need a foreign coach to play this football, at least, says Agni. Yeah, most probably that is that. Um, Hardik says roadmap 2047, road to rank 200. At the moment, it looks like. Vineet says, haha, Indian football is a joke. I am done with everything. Well, I hope not. What is Ego's tactics analyzing both the games? I don't know what his tactics are. That's would be my question to him as well. Is like, what are your tactics? What are what are you trying to do? What are we trying to do? I really, really don't know what the coach is trying to do with the team. So yeah, that's a reality that we have. And Satan is saying half of our problems will be solved if Igor is sacked, but picking right talents instead of seeing one realist and BK Pujari and all. I don't think so. I don't think the talent is the problem, because tell me players who are much better than the ones who are playing. That is another, false friend that I see amongst Indian football fans. They think that there are somewhere out there players who are much, much better than those who are playing. They're all this. They're all of the same standard, you know and that's not happening. Does coach have right to select all Indian players, or is there any other selection team? No, the coach selects the team. Why every country allow orange, but India? Well, India, it's because of the government and their rulings. Hyderabad could easily beat Indian team. Gokul has beaten Indian national team. Well, too easy to say, guys. This is also. Will we see senior players not being picked up anymore? We also need to address the mafia-like environment in Indian team. Let's see what happens. Again, Indian football, not hopefully will happen, but nothing happens. Two players who I thought was at higher level than others were Sahal and Mahesh, but they stopped improving. Sahal has had potential, but Sahal is technically very good, but he was brought up in a football school environment in the UAE, so he didn't have club football. You can't get that into him now. Mahesh, raw talent, technically very gifted. To me, physically too weak to play Asian football. Very honest opinion, if you ask me. What was India doing? I saw nothing. Bunch of school players were trying to impress. Just thrash. Yeah, sadly, that's the fact. Mahesh Gole also makes the tactics. Also responsible. I don't know if Mahesh did the tactics. That's the that I don't know. Whenever Mahesh has been there and the coach was suspended, we were doing okay. People saying they cannot beat a C team and you want to stop participating in SAF. And by the way, the camp statement I was referring to too much. I'm against this camp shit. Okay, understood, Vipul. Then I get it. Camps will not be deciding factor. Village Life has said, sack all players with, well, let's do new team and new dreams. Mama says Indonesian are origin players serious. Again, there are multiple teams around the world who are doing origin players. So that's not just them bunch of idiots and think Ego's too much better coach. Well, because again, it's not up to me to decide who's a good coach, who's not. But at the moment, the AFF seems to be thinking that our head coach is or has been the right coach for a certain period of time. So that's a problem in my opinion. But again, it's not my decision. So therefore, that's that. Yeah. Who try to answer all your questions or get in your observations. 1 hour and 38 minutes. Thanks a lot for joining, guys. I'm also going to take a little bit of time off. Satyabat is saying Kalyan Chaubey turned to be fraud, a new interim president or re-election after Supreme Court said. Let's see what they do. Some more. Devil Boy saying, I personally think blue color for India is a bad luck. We should change the bright New York color with New York players. Let's see what happens. Happens. Mama saying many city community people want to play football for India national team. See many countries offering origin. Yeah, maybe. You say Owen Coyle. As I said, I don't think a coach from the ISL should take it. Air Scott, they need to be disbanded. Period. The Afghanistan are doing a bit better, like Jay, Vibin, Ayman, all had a foreign exposure. They played at a higher level. Yeah, that's true. Arnab, but again, are they really much better than that are they really of that much of higher quality? They have to prove that. Harshvad, this is what changes we need in ISL. Difficult. I think we have to be realistic, and I think we don't need to grow the ISL too fast. That's going to be my first thing, be it ISL or be it IWL. We are growing the leagues, but we don't have the player material to grow the leagues. We've not growing the ISL, but we've also grown the I League as well. So if we're realistic, do we have enough players for 25 pro clubs in the top two tiers of Indian football? I don't think we have. Maybe 20 teams would have been realistic, 10 each. But that's a question. What do you see as an Indian fan in football? What's India's future? I think we need the right people to run the game. That's the only thing. And only the right leadership will take right decisions. So let's see what happens. Vinit says no man's had time. We get a new coach. Igor, so many chances. Yes, I'm fully with it. I said he should have gone. So Devil, thanks a lot. So when we'll next discussion of the video, we'll keen wait. Let's see. Again, with my friends, I'm surely doing something tomorrow. So therefore, keep following. Keep do subscribe to the channel, and let's see what happens. If Kalyan goes. They're saying Afghanistan, I think they're the same from last. Let's see what happens. I'm not sure. But their growth hits a flat line as soon as they start playing in ISL with lower standard opponents. Are good as your competitors? Yes, to some extent. But the question is, what would have been the growth path of these players? I mean, Jay comes in from the fifth, sixth year of Spanish football, right? If you want to play international football, you have to play a little higher. Can he get that? So let's see what it is. India at the lowest point in their football history today. We have one of theirs, not the lowest. Won a private ISL, privatized. No, I don't think AFF has to be a society. Who are the right people according to you? Because without proper checks and balances, nothing will be right. Could be a few, but I'm not going to put out names. Who could be the right people. It's something which the federation has to do, and or people around the federation, as I said, so therefore for me, very important that the right people run the federation. And Seth Varga saying Vietnam Federation immediately sacked the coach after loss. Yes, I've seen that. But again, a lot of them did it during the Asian Cup or in African Cup of Nations. Yeah, Steamert is still there at this moment. Listen, guys, I've been talking for nearly 5 hours, so I wanted to thank you for this session tonight. Been a longer one than most probably expected or thinking about it. Let's see where this goes. It's a sad day for Indian football. A very, very sad day for Indian football. India lose 1-2 to Afghanistan. Certainly we didn't deserve this as fans, but it was coming. The federation has to get rid of Igor Stimac sooner than later and then rebuild. So therefore, let's see what happens. It's disappointing. It's very, very disappointing. And hope things change for the better. Thanks a lot for joining in. As always, do follow my channel, Arun Foot. Please raise the awareness. Want to be, as always, honest, straightforward and direct. Tell you my opinions, even if people don't like it. I will say what is true, and changes are needed. And hopefully these changes are coming, because otherwise it's going to be very, very difficult for Indian football to grow. And thanks a lot. Thanks, Devil, for these compliments. So therefore, my wishes again: subscribe to the channel, spread the news. I've said this all this while, and I'll keep be saying this. What I think is right. Sometimes people will think I'm wrong, but I sadly very often am proven right at what I say. Maybe a year or two down the line, and hopefully we can change football for better. I think we need to keep up the social media campaigns and try and change things for good. And therefore, thanks a lot. Good discussion, guys. And I'll be back very, very soon. And as I said, please do like this video, share this video, look at the other videos that I've made, especially one which I made last night about what my request was to the Indian players, which I thought in the end wasn't fulfilled. And I'll catch you soon on my channel. Thanks and very, very good night.